Now at 5, a crash near Diamond claims the life of a 6-year-old boy. What authorities say led to the deadly impact. Plus, snake season is back in the 4 states. What you should do if you encounter the crawly creature, and
the Trump administration targets Harvard University by slashing billions of dollars in federal funding. I'm Erica Brown with more on that escalating feud and the legal standoff over a Maryland man mistakenly deported.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A crash near Diamond, Missouri claims the life of a 6-year-old child. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Happened around 5 last night at Highway J and Quail Road, just east of Diamond. Authorities say a Granby man was driving north in an SUV and failed to yield to a pickup traveling west. The impact caused the truck to flip and land upside down. A 6-year-old boy in the truck died at the scene. The driver, a woman, and an 8-year-old boy in the truck had minor injuries. All 4 are from Pierce City, Missouri. The driver of the SUV also had minor injuries. It's not uncommon for the Webb City Fire Department and the Dunaweg Volunteer Fire Department to help each other respond to emergencies, but now the departments are helping each other with equipment. Last night, the Webb City Council voted to allow the Webb City Fire Department to donate a brush truck to Dunaweg. The truck has not run for more than a year in Webb City, and the Dunaweg Department will be able to use it to get parts to get their own brush truck working again. The department says the equipment is vital for responding in their rural area.
Budgets are very tight. It's very exciting. It just goes to prove we have a super great relationship with all the departments around here, and we all work together very much.
The Dunaweg Fire Department has already picked up the brush truck and has their truck ready for the replacement parts to get it up and running again. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy now for our first look at the weather.
Yeah, and it turned out to be a nice Tuesday for us today. A little breezy still, but temperature is pretty good. A smidge cooler than what we saw yesterday. 63 in Joplin, 65 is where we stand in Pittsburgh right now. Most of us kind of low to mid 60s, a little bit below where we should be for this time of the year. Kind of a chilly evening, but a nice one. We slide back through the 50s into the 40s once again as we go through the overnight hours, but we're going to stick with the clear skies. We'll get some clouds in here by morning, have a weak little wave heading toward us, so we can't rule out a couple hit and miss little showers, especially late morning into the early afternoon. Then a few thunderstorms, very isolated. We'll try to get going tomorrow night. Severe threat moves in later this week. We'll talk about it all here in a bit.
Catch in a few. Snake season has slithered its way into the 4 states. While these scaly visitors might give you a fright, the Missouri Department of Conservation says most are more helpful than harmful, serving as nature's pest control by keeping rodent populations in check. But what should you do if you cross paths with a snake? Well, an expert from the Missouri Department of Conservation has some advice.
We do have a few venomous species in Missouri, but the most of the snakes you see are not venomous. So that doesn't mean you have to try to catch them and make them your pet. They're wild animals. Leave them as wild animals. Non-venomous snakes can bite, and those bites can hurt.
According to the Missouri Department of Conservation, it's illegal to kill a snake in Missouri. However, the exception is if a venomous snake is in a position where it could bite a person. There's a new hearing today concerning the man deported to El Salvador who's had the Supreme Court weigh in on his side. At the White House yesterday, both the Trump administration and the president of El Salvador made it clear they have no intention of returning him to the United States. President Trump also doubled down on his fight with Harvard after the White House announced a freeze of $2.2 billion in grants to that elite institution. Erica Brown has the latest from the White House.
A day after the White House announced it's freezing $2.2 billion in grants to Harvard University and $60 million in contracts, President Trump went further, writing on social media that perhaps Harvard should lose its tax-exempt status and be taxed as a political entity.
All the president is asking, don't break federal law, and then you can have your federal funding.
It comes after Harvard rejected a list of Trump administration demands, including ending DEI policies and enacting new student discipline measures, saying they were insufficient for those participating in pro-Palestinian campus protests.
Harvard should apologize for the egregious anti-Semitism that took place on their college campus against Jewish American students.
Harvard warned without federal funding, cutting-edge medical, scientific, and technological research will come to a halt midstream.
It's not just that things have been stopped cold, which a lot of it has, like one day they're doing research and then the next day they can't. It's also the fact that they can't plan.
Also today, there is a new hearing concerning the Maryland man the White House acknowledges was deported to El Salvador after an administrative error. Attorneys for Kilmar Abrego Garcia wrote in a court filing that the Trump administration has to at least request their client's return from El Salvador to comply with last week's Supreme Court order. The White House maintains he's a gang member, even though he was never charged or convicted of a crime.
Enough is enough. My family can't be robbed from another day without seeing Kilmar.
At the White House Monday, the president of El Salvador made it clear he has no intention of returning Abrego Garcia. The case could return to the High Court. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
White House officials say even if Abrego Garcia is brought back to the U.S., he'll be deported again. Still ahead, snowbirds of sorts that might not migrate south.
I'm Christian Benavides in Hollywood, Florida, where Canadians are canceling their vacations over Trump's policies and comments about our neighbors to the north.
But first, medical therapy that doesn't come from a pharmacy. It comes straight from the farm. That's next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, a common medication could help reduce heart attacks and strokes, saving lives in the process. A study by Lund University showed the medication ezetimibe, sold under the brand name Zetia, lowered cholesterol and the risk of new heart attacks if taken in the weeks after a heart attack. Cardiovascular disease is the most common cause of death worldwide. Having complications during pregnancy could increase the chance of cardiovascular disease later in life for some. A study by the American College of Cardiology found that among overweight women, complications during pregnancy like gestational diabetes and high blood pressure had a significant link to midlife cardiovascular problems. Doctors say pregnancy can often be a window into a mother's future health. A warning about overusing CT scans. A study by UC San Francisco found that CT scans may account for as much as 5% of all cancers. The greatest risk is for infants and children. Doctors say CT scans can save lives by detecting tumors and diagnosing disease, but they should not be overused. Medicine can come in many forms and is not always found at the pharmacy. As Tina Kraus reports, some senior citizens in Ireland are getting a new type of therapy straight from the farm.
Joe Phelan is ready for another day on the farm in Ireland. It's where he finds happiness.
Come on, Winston. Good boy.
Herding the alpacas he adores.
You're so fluffy. Good boy.
Who do more than just graze the fields.
That's it.
His wool-covered companions stroll through the halls of a local nursing home, offering residents a whole new type of therapy. Staff say the alpacas are more than a novelty.
Oh, well done, boys.
They give many elderly residents a connection to the past.
Just to see the smiles on the faces, and I think it triggered a lot of memories for people that would have grown up on farms, that would have been farmers.
With his newfound calling in animal therapy, 64-year-old Phelan has become known as Alpaca Joe.
They get to feel them, they look into their big huge brown eyes, which just are so relaxing, and they might hear him humming Alpaca's hum.
Yes, we love you too.
I think as well the feel of the wool brought back a lot of memories to people, and especially to the women that do the knitting.
Phelan says alpacas have a unique gift for creating calm and lifting spirits. A furry form of therapy that for some is the perfect prescription. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
The alpacas aren't just regulars at the nursing home. They visit local special needs schools too. And Phelan says teachers say it relaxes students and improves their concentration. That is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, peeps are popping up just in time for Easter. A look inside the factory that churns out billions of these colorful marshmallow trees.
Well, it turned out to be a great Tuesday for us today. Quite a bit of sunshine, still a little breezy, a little bit cooler than what we saw yesterday, but no complaints. Clear skies out there right now. Great shot of our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Look at our temps. Most of us right now are sitting low to mid 60s, so it looks great across the region. We're going to slowly drop back as we go through the evening hours. We'll slide back through the 50s into the 40s, kind of chilly. Again, later on tonight as we get back into lower 40s for overnight lows. The wind's kind of breezy for us today, but they pick up tomorrow. Southerly winds, so that means in return our temperatures start to warm back up, but gusts kind of 25 to 30 at times on Wednesday evening. They get stronger on Thursday. We'll have gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour. It's been a super windy spring, and we're going to continue that trend going over the next few days. Clear skies, not much going on here. Have a weak little wave that's going to shift in by Wednesday into Thursday, giving us at least some chances for showers and thunderstorms, a bigger system waiting in the wings right off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. All right, let me walk you through time. Tonight, we're dropping back low to mid 40s, not quite as cold as what we saw this morning. Some clouds increase through the morning. By late morning into the early afternoon, a few spotty showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. Most of these showers are going to be along the north of I-44 and very hit and miss. These are going to push through as we get into Wednesday evening. Temperatures respond. I think most of us go into the mid 70s. As we get into Wednesday evening, an isolated thunderstorm or two will try to get going south central Kansas. We'll have to see if any get going or just one or two, but a few of those guys might try to get in here. If they do, they will have the potential for some large hail. So we're going to watch that tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, into Thursday morning, kind of working through the region. And then Thursday afternoon, we heat up again. We go into lower 80s for afternoon highs. 46 to start on your Wednesday, 68 by noon, high temp, 75 degrees. Let's go into Friday. We do have at least a chance for severe thunderstorms, especially along and south of the I-44 corridor. Kind of suppresses south on Saturday. We'll be right on the northern edge. And then on Easter Sunday, it looks like now most of the severe weather will stay east of the region, but we'll still have morning showers and thunderstorms. So looking at Friday, thunderstorms erupt. You can see the wind shift line. So it's going to be along this front where we're going to get thunderstorms. Some of those could be strong to severe, heavy amounts of rain sticking around as we go into Saturday morning, and then periods of thunderstorms through the day on Saturday into Easter morning, and then I think most of this will shift east. So most of the rain right now looks like it'll be out of here by Easter afternoon. However, we could get quite a bit of rain over the next several days. A lot of areas 1 to 3 inches of rain. 75 on your Wednesday, 82 on Thursday, 79 Friday. A little bit cooler for the weekend with the thunderstorms. Again, thunderstorm chances returning the middle of next week. Pretty active.
Yeah, apparently it's that time of year.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up, Canadian tourism in Florida takes a hit. Why snowbirds are canceling in droves and what one motel owner is doing to keep business alive. Topping today's Consumer Watch, peep into an Easter basket and you'll likely see plenty of peeps. Whether you love them or hate them, those brightly colored marshmallow candies are a staple of holiday treats. Peeps begin their Easter pilgrimage at a family-owned candy factory in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Just Born Quality Confections cranks out an average of 5.5 million peeps a day. That adds up to a whopping 2 billion peeps a year. NVIDIA has announced plans to build AI supercomputers and chips in the U.S. for the first time. Products will be manufactured at plants in Arizona and Texas. NVIDIA says it plans to invest and produce up to $500 billion of AI infrastructure in the U.S. over the next 4 years. This comes as President Trump has been pushing aggressive tariffs in order to convince more companies to build in the U.S. Today's the deadline for most U.S. taxpayers to file their federal taxes unless you live in one of more than a dozen states where the IRS has extended the deadline. People in states like Arkansas, Tennessee, North Carolina, Los Angeles County, and California were granted a later deadline due to natural disasters in recent months. All taxpayers can request an extension from the IRS, which would give them until mid-October to file. Canadians have long been the top international travelers to the U.S., but as Christian Benavides reports, a big chill is now keeping many of them at home.
At this motel in Hollywood, Florida, signs welcome guests in both English and French. It's usually a hot spot for Canadians this time of year, but not now.
At one point I was like, oh boy, should we rename our reservation office to the cancellation office?
Owner Richard Clavette has multiple short-term rental hotels, all catering to Canadian snowbirds, a business he's built over 35 years.
I enjoy calling it Little Quebec in Florida.
Clavette showed us a stack of recent cancellations, some over the unfavorable exchange rate, but most because of President Trump's tariff policies and his 51st state taunts.
They don't like the political climate. They feel like the president is insulting them.
Clavette says he's lost half of his Canadian customers from this time last year across 7 of his properties, catering to our neighbors to the north. Nationwide, advanced flight bookings by Canadians are down 70%. The country is the top source for international tourists to the U.S., generating $20 billion in spending. Canadians are getting out of U.S. real estate too. Natalie Mancuso sold her condo in nearby Pompano Beach.
So it was political.
It was definitely political, yes.
Boca Raton realtor Catherine Espino says listings from Canadian owners are up. And she got this message from a prospective buyer who toured properties with her in December.
How he's treating our beloved country, Canada. I have decided to abandon the plans for now, and maybe my future travels to the U.S. as well.
Back at Clavette's hotel, this dual citizen says while Trump may be the reason so many canceled their reservations, he has none about having voted for him.
You voted for Trump. His policies are impacting your business, but you don't regret it.
No, not at all.
Clavette's not worried. He says Americans are now booking the rooms in his little Quebec. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Hollywood, Florida.
A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, more on that battle between two American institutions, the White House and Harvard University. And then on KOAM News at 6, Samantha Walker examines how the cooperation between two Jasper County fire departments could benefit everyone. Plus, could cuts to the IRS impact jobs in Missouri? And we'll introduce you to the new Pittsburgh High School girls basketball coach, a familiar face in the 4 states. Stay with the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Springtime brings out a whole lot of fun family activities, some familiar holiday faces as well. The Easter Bunny is chilling at Joplin's North Park Mall to greet and take photos with kids of all ages. There have been several Easter events happening. There are several more to come, of course. You scan this QR code to find some more egg hunts and various other activities coming up at the 4 states. Of course, you can also venture over to our website, koamnewsnow.com, for more things to do. We hope it's not raining on Easter Sunday, but there's a possibility of that.
Yeah, definitely Sunday morning, some showers and thunderstorms. I do think we'll start to clear out as we get into the afternoon. Still several days away. 75 on your Wednesday, 82 Thursday. Temperatures pretty good, nice, really over the next couple days, but dodging a lot of showers and thunderstorms really over the next 10 days.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.